So here I am in beautiful Edinburgh. This is just down past the grass market. I'm going to walk up to the Royal Mile. Some absolutely beautiful, I don't know if you can see that, beautiful old style shops. I mean, the actual architecture, the old architecture down here is absolutely stunning. I mean, these are very old buildings that have lasted for generations. So what's happened now in the last 60 years? As usual, communism came in and we had planning permission, and we've actually now put up shit for architecture. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible how badly constructed in such a beautiful part of Scotland and such a beautiful city as Edinburgh that the council, with planning permission, has absolutely put up crap. I mean, that's a travel lodge, and it's probably the most disgusting, unflattering building that you could possibly get. So, I was just going to talk a wee bit about postmodernism, cultural Marxism, and what's actually happening in our universities. Um, so, we have, I'll stick with architecture just now, and then I'll move on. We have now got a planning department who thinks that that is a decent building. I mean, absolutely nothing to it. I mean, quite the most disgusting building out. Compared to, I'll show you some of the other stuff that was built generations ago. So let me just cross the road so we can get a better sort of view on what they've got. So there is the stuff behind me that was viewed years ago in Edinburgh. I mean, this has been built centuries ago, and this is what's built now. I mean, look how disgusting that is. Materials, just rubbish materials. So that had to go through planning to actually get consent. So we've got people who are employed to actually pass that as something that you would want to put up in one of the most beautiful cities across the road from buildings that have been up for generations. I mean, look how beautiful those buildings are. They've been built generations ago, probably without a planning department. And then we've got this absolute eyesore travel lodge in the middle of Edinburgh. I'm just going to take you up to somewhere else. I mean, look at this. This is, I can't tell you how beautiful these buildings are. Look at that turret over there. So we have a planning department who are meant to have guidelines and get buildings that sort of fit in to the other buildings that are around them. I mean, look at this building. The detail on it is fantastic, made of stone, stood for hundreds of years. That will be down 50 years, and that is an absolute unprecedented eyesore. The materials are rubbish. It's about as culturally pleasing as a kick in the nuts. But we are now actually regressed in architecture. We've actually become worse at building rather than better. The buildings, I mean, Edinburgh is full with beautiful buildings. If Edinburgh pulled down or continue to pull down the buildings, the beautiful buildings were built generations ago. The beautiful buildings were built years ago and put up the things like that travel lodge, then Edinburgh would lose its character. I'm just about to take you round to something else that's just so incredibly disgusting and cosmetically harmful to the environment. So I'll just flip round again, because there's some absolutely incredible buildings here in Edinburgh. Look at that. I mean, that was built generations ago. Stone balcony. Let me just do a 360 here so you can actually see how beautiful it is. This is the Royal Mile in Edinburgh. So let me just spin round here. So, again, these stone buildings have been up for generations. Let me just spin the other way for you. Absolutely stunning. Stunning. These have been built to last, and they're architecturally pleasing as well. However, some people set fire to these. I mean, it's unbelievable. These should be actually treated as works of art, the buildings themselves. But some people set fire to these buildings. That's me just walking down the other place. So, I mean, as you can see, these are old buildings, old stone buildings that have all stood for absolutely generations. And we have now got these monstrosities that have somehow managed to go through planning, are not in keeping with the environment. They're not built of stone. they're architecturally unpleasant, and we've now got this sort of postmodernist architecture as well as postmodernist disgusting artwork as well. All of it is really, really disgusting. So let me just flip right here and we'll see how pleasant, unpleasant Edinburgh is. So let's start over there. Caledonian Hotel, absolutely stunning. I don't know if I can zoom in for you guys. So there's the hotel there, absolutely stunning building. Stunning, Waverley Station. Again, these are buildings to the left of it. That's a modern eyesore. Again, absolutely nothing to it. Then we've got the obelisk, and then this is St Andrew's House. This is where the government is, and then we've got this here, this monstrosity here. Absolutely nothing to it. Another postmodernist eyesore. Nothing to it. If Edinburgh became all like these buildings, Edinburgh would lose its character. I mean, one of the great things about Edinburgh is the actual buildings. I mean, it's the buildings should be treated as national art. I don't know if I can just flip you around here, guys. So this is what they're putting up instead. They're just building a big. It's just along the road. Another big postmodernist monstrosity. And as you can see, this is not in keeping with the other architecture in Edinburgh, which is all properly stone built and looks great. This is just postmodernist, nondescript architecture. But I mean, this has all been done deliberately. This is part of the postmodernist eyesore, disgusting buildings that have been put up over the generations. And this starts way back. Now, the Grenfell fire in London was exacerbated because there was cladding put on this tower block. The reason there was cladding put on the tower block was the block was so ugly, it was so unattractive to look at because the state had built it. I mean, the state has put up some absolute shocking pieces of architecture over the last number of years. So let me just flip round here. So beautiful, let me just show you this street. Beautiful ancient architecture, old architecture, and look at this concrete monstrosity stuck in the middle. Let me just get a better view. Concrete monstrosity put in the middle of Edinburgh. I mean, in one of the most beautiful streets, nothing in keeping, absolutely disgusting. And I mean, really, how they get past planning, I don't know. It's just absolutely gobsmacking. Look around Edinburgh. So there's the postmodernist, more postmodernist nonsense. And look at the beautiful buildings when you're looking at the older shaped buildings. And then you've got this absolute concrete monstrosity in the middle. A Jury's Inn. I don't think it was Jury's Inn that built it. I'm not quite sure, but certainly it's Jury's Inn that got it. But I mean, an absolutely disgusting blot in the landscape. If Edinburgh lost its architecture, it would really, I mean, it would be such a pity. And what they're doing is putting up absolute shit. I mean, it's just absolute crap that they're putting up. So it's not in keeping with the rest of the buildings. It's not made of stone, and they're keeping absolutely nothing of the original city. So, but this is part of postmodernism. They actually want to tear down the beauty and the elegance and put up shit. So I mean, look at that. Look at these. Look at that. That's what a horrible monstrosity that they put up in the middle of the old town. And look how beautiful the buildings were prior to that. I mean, they're maybe even centuries old, and they've lasted the test of time. And then the planning, we have got a town planning that has actually put up this absolute eyesore in the middle of Edinburgh, or allowed that to be constructed. So the state is allowing monstrosities to be actually constructed. And it's just absolutely staggering. What's the point in them being there? They might as well have I think a lot of these other buildings were put up without any town planning. So we're wasting their money actually having these planning departments if they're going to put up things that are completely. I mean, look, it's that standing next to that other building. That does not fit in there. That's an absolute eyesore. And how, I mean, obviously the thing about corruption, I mean, the town planning is easily corrupted because it's state done. So if they're actually putting up state buildings that the state has to sanction, then this can be corrupted. The process can be corrupted, and they can actually put up things that are completely inappropriate with their actual surroundings. I mean, it's just hard to show you how beautiful the rest of it is, and then they put up juries in an absolute carbuncle, as the Prince Charles would say. So, why are they making things ugly? Well, I mean, they make women ugly from feminism. That's another communist thing. Post cultural Marxism is just a collective term for the ugly, to make everything ugly. I mean, they managed to put up these housing schemes throughout Europe, and everything's getting uglier. I mean, it's getting less attractive. All these sort of new buildings are really ugly, and all these people died at the Grenfell fire because they had put this cladding, because the state had built these towers, which were horrendous, based on left-wing architecture from the east, from Eastern Europe and the Soviets and the communists, based on this socialism, this utopia of socialism, which never worked and created some disgusting things, tons of tragedy, absolutely disgusting. And now they've continued with this nihilistic artwork or architecture as well, and it just makes everything more horrible. I mean, instead of actually coveting I mean, look at this part here. This is beautiful as well. This is just arches that have been well built by stone, and these are actually been, well, you can see the quality of workmanship that these guys had before. And then we've got this. So we've got that big absolute carbuncle right in the middle of the city, and it doesn't fit in. It just does not look correct for the actual city. The city was built of stone, predominantly stone, and that the new postmodernist materials are austere, and they're not. They don't acclimatise well to the stuff that's already been there. So why is the planning allowing these things to be put up? I would have thought the purpose of the planning was to keep the quality and the workmanship going. It seems to be getting worse, not better. Let me just flip you around here and let me show you these. So we've now got these streets. Now, if you look at that compared to this, so you've got that beautiful street up there. I hope you can see it okay. So with the thing, and then I flip you around to this. I mean, how nondescript, how absolutely nondescript can you potentially get? If all the streets in Edinburgh were like that, they would lose its character. I mean, there's a contrast right there from the postmodernist to the old, and look how completely bland the postmodernist stuff is. Completely bland. Look at the detail on the stuff that was built years ago, and look how bland and how disgusting the postmodernist. Now, those people are getting taught this at university, and the fact is that I was going to go to Glasgow School of Art and do an art degree. I was starting to get into doing a bit of painting. I was starting to do oil painting, starting to enjoy it. And when I was going to do the art, or want to speak to the professors about doing an art degree, look at that. I mean, how nondescript. I was going to do an art degree that at Glasgow Uni, they only did postmodernist sort of art, which again is just basically cultural Marxism. It's like putting a pile of bricks together and scaffolding to actually make the art, which is absolutely disgusting. I mean, it's really horrible artwork. I mean, if you can even call it that. I mean, somebody put a pair of spectacles in a gallery and people were taking pictures of it. The art has got that obscure, but it is to make it more and more horrible. I mean, let me just flip you around again. So these are really nondescript, absolutely no character to them buildings, and these are going up all over Edinburgh. Low quality materials, and these have been allowed through the planning permission, with planning permission, and don't fit in to the beautiful stuff that Edinburgh had before. Let me just flip you around here. So there's a beautiful old school, well constructed, and another nondescript, absolutely disgusting pile of rubbish. So we're really, the materials, everything else is completely not in keeping with actually having Edinburgh as a beautiful place. But my point that I was trying to get to was that modern architecture has become disgusting and postmodernist. The art is becoming postmodernist and disgusting. I mean, I went and saw some of the guys' final portfolios from the Glasgow School of Art, and there was, I kid you not, a pile of bricks with scaffolding, like a desktop type thing with glass and children's toys in it. I mean, the actual creativity has been totally lost for this ugliness. And let me just flip you around here. This is a multi-million-pound other carbuncle that's going to blight the landscapes of Edinburgh for generations to come. So we've got another big, I may actually just take you up here, and we've got another. So that's one big development there, which will probably be about the same as that development over there, completely nondescript and ugly. So the planning are really doing a very bad job, but it probably starts at the universities. So what the universities, like what's happening with the women doing gender studies, which is just a way of actually getting the communist theology into the university students. And I would suspect that architecture is quite similar, that it's all postmodernist, really horrible postmodernist, none of it's elegant or the classical stuff, just like the art, which I've discovered. So what's actually happened is that the communists have infiltrated the universities, and then they're able to then influence the decision makers, whether it be through the art, through the architecture, or through this postmodernist nonsense, that these people are then being developed into actually putting up basically shit. And they have lost, look at that building there. I mean, that's somebody there's somebody that spent time actually developing that. And there, look at this, look at walking past this, how nondescript that is. How ugly and architecturally unpleasing a project that is. No art, nothing decorative, absolutely horrible. And people are getting paid to actually allow that to happen and put up these buildings with probably no consultation or little consultation from the public to actually say that they want something fitted in to the surroundings. So there's nothing that they don't get to say. They just get presented with this. They get presented with the fait accompli without having any say in it. And unfortunately, these are becoming more and more unattractive buildings. So if the beautiful buildings keep getting knocked down and these nondescript buildings keep being put up, cities will lose their actual culture, their heritage, and also the beauty that the people had spent time actually developing. There we've seen just this week the art school going to fire for the second time, which seems very suspicious. Once, okay, I can understand, accidents do happen, but twice. And I've got a sneaking suspicion because I know, because I already spoke to you there about what had happened when I was going to do the fine art, which is now just this horrible postmodernist crap. Basically, I was really disappointed. I thought the art school had a great reputation, but obviously it's just putting out bollocks. Basically, I mean, I was gobsmacked by the absolute crap that was coming out as projects. But I mean, I, I'm not a fan of postmodernism, but it's all ugly neo-communist stuff, and I can't believe it's so well embedded within the universities. I mean, it's absolutely staggering. It took me a wee while, the gender studies and the architecture and like the the art to put it all together, but how embedded that cultural Marxism is in our universities. And that took me a wee while. I didn't understand where women were getting sort of these crazy ideas and why it was sounding so wrong. That this neo-communism. I mean, we have to remember that the communists were the biggest mass murderers the world has ever seen. They were genocidal maniacs, and they got Big Diane on television talking about how Mao, the biggest mass murderer, political mass murderer the world has ever seen, had some great policies. So I'm sure if she was living in communist China and she was one of the victims, she might not have thought that, or had their family taken out by Mao the Merciless. Another beta male, probably like Corbyn. So I'm just going to take you up here to show you some more rubbish that they're putting up. So we've now got town planners who have got to sanction this this rubbish that they're putting up, that it's not in relation to the surrounds. I mean, let me just swap you round again. So I mean, this is absolutely, look at the old buildings. The old buildings have stood the test of time, and they're absolutely stunning. And what happens is that the newer buildings like this stand out like a sore thumb. Now, you just don't know what was here before, but I would suggest that that's beautiful. Now, does that fit in any sort of context with our buildings? And look at the bottom of this. If you don't believe that it's getting uglier, I mean, look at this, look. So there's the bottom of that building there. And there's the bottom of the postmodernist building here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me go over. So this is the bottom of the new, and that's the bottom of it there. I mean, really, how unattractive. You would thought they would have put shops or something there. But I mean, even, look. So that's beside there, beautiful old buildings and some nondescript pile of rubbish. So again, beautiful building, link, nondescript, absolutely not in keeping. Now, why would you not actually keep it so that you could get stone built? Yeah, okay, I understand it's going to be more expensive to start off with, but surely you're going to lose more money. If Edinburgh was all looking like that, would end to come. So if you continue to put up buildings that look like this, nobody's going to come and visit. People come to see the beautiful architecture. If you pull it down and put up postmodernist rubbish, nobody's going to come. And unfortunately, we have to now have a look at and an overview of what our universities are teaching and who's actually teaching our kids. Because if it continues, we're going to lose our culture, our traditions, the beautiful things that other people have already done for us, and we're going to be left with something that's nondescript. And this is what's happening today. That the actual things that have had quality are remaining, and the rubbish is getting pulled down. I mean, these buildings are up for generations. So, I mean, this is us just going down to Loading Road, the end of Princes Street. These are the two large streets in Edinburgh. And I'll just prove my point. So, This is going to be the new walnut whip in here. Now the cranes are up just now, and probably about 1960s buildings already down. Now look at this monstrosity. Look, they put up another eyesore here. Absolutely disgusting. Nothing to that at all. And compared to this building here. And now let me just flip you around, and more nondescript buildings on the way down here. So they're doing it deliberately, and they're actually making the place uglier and less attractive. There's no requirement for any art or anything creative on the front of these buildings. And they are so nondescript and disgusting that just the same as what happened with the Grenfell Towers. And this is why the state should not be building or supplying houses or creating houses. You should, let me just flip you around here. That's the hole. And they're going to put a big walnut whip in something equally unattractive in the space, which will probably be down in about 50 years' time again. So, again, from town planners. So, we're now at a really incredible period where we have to change this. It's all shit. The whole thing's getting worse. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. The actual architecture. This is in the middle of Edinburgh. This is the middle of one of the most beautiful cities in the world. I'll take you up and I'll show you some stuff in Princes Street they put up. One of the most beautiful cities in the world. And the town planners have just allowed rubbish to be put up. And they're actually making the environment worse, not better. And the materials that they're allowing to be used are not in keeping with the architecture that's already there. And I don't think it'd be very difficult if the people who are building this change the materials and actually change the materials to fit in with the surroundings. Look at that monstrosity. And there's a beautiful building there behind it. And there we've got what is a concrete box. So, I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, you would think at least they would require them to make them of stone and have half-decent frontages. But I don't know what's happening with the guys in Edinburgh planning. They're making, I don't know how people are getting past Edinburgh planning and why other people haven't come to the conclusion or actually started to protest against the stuff that they're actually putting up. So, postmodernist architecture, postmodernist art, postmodernist dancing and postmodernist gender studies, it's all just communist shit. And that's it, it's all just communist shit. They haven't done anything that's lasted any time because it's all shit. And that's what we have to take away from it. All the stuff, all the high blocks of flats that the council and the state put up in the 1960s are all torn down now. They're all torn down because they made mistakes. Because when you steal other people's money through taxation and then you decide, when you've not got a shoe in the game because you're basically spending other people's money. I mean, look guys, look at this. Look how beautiful the buildings are. Look how much time and effort they put into the surrounds. And they've actually made some absolutely stunning things in Edinburgh. Look at this. Look at that behind me. Look. So they've actually put up some absolutely beautiful buildings. And somehow the council have decided, because these are the guys who are meant to be setting standards, that the standards are now actually getting worse. We're actually putting up more and more ugly buildings. It's like we've actually regressed in architecture. So the council used to put up housing schemes because obviously they know best of houses that all look exactly the same. All they just needed to do was hand out the little red books. So, right, so what are you saying, David? Why would you make it different? I would empower the individual, not the state. I would allow people who were unemployed to have mortgages. I would change the social security system so that people weren't having to pay for rents. If they wanted to rent, they were allowed to rent, but they could also use housing benefit to pay for mortgages, because that would invigorate the economy, and it would mean that individuals were creating the houses that they wanted to live in, not the state. And that's what we want to see. We want to see individuals, because I think individual creativity is going to be a lot greater than the state's creativity. And I should have taken you down to the architect. I should have taken you down to the architecture of the Scottish Parliament, which looks like a cross between an NCP car park and IKEA. I mean, it's staggering why he was able to pick that carbuncle of a building, which was only meant to cost £50 million, end up costing £450 million. It looks like if the pandas at Glasgow Zoo, Edinburgh Zoo ever get hungry, they could pull some of the bamboo off the front of the Parliament building and feed them with it. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. If they said it was going to cost £450 million to actually get the building, then I certainly wouldn't mind. But to build such a horrible building without any consultation of the people, if that's the type of building they wanted, I swear the people come to Edinburgh and see, oh wow, beautiful buildings, beautiful buildings. What the hell happened to the Scottish Parliament? Absolutely another carbuncle of a decision by the state. So when the state builds buildings, they always put up shit. So here we go, guys. Look how beautiful Edinburgh is. Look at the actual buildings here. Let me just flip you around. So we've got another carbuncle. Down there is a low-level mall, shopping mall, but over the other side is absolutely. Let me just get it bigger for you. Oh. Some absolutely stunning buildings, if that bus would move. Some absolutely stunning buildings. There's the castle over there. So, yeah. So, I mean, that's just what happens when the state actually builds. The state builds buildings. When they steal your money and they think they know what's best for you, you know you're on to a loser there. And again, there's somebody commenting about Tommy. We're all going down on the 14th to actually speak to Tommy Robinson, or to actually represent him. He's not out. Absolutely disgusting that he's been held back again. But we're not surprised anymore. It's just one more stage forward to me joining UKIP, and we can all stand by on the back of that. So. Yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely disgusting. I would have thought they would actually got him out, but they've decided not to get him out. And he's going to be held in during the actual protest, which I'm very surprised. It just means the protest is going to be even bigger. So we'll be looking forward to that. I think I'm going to go down the day before to support the arrival of Donald Trump. Obviously, turning out to be one of the greatest presidents that has ever been. He's starting to get the border secured, the economy's going from strength to strength, and he's doing a great job. I mean, it's absolutely staggering. I mean, against all that opposition as well, that he's managed. He's lowering taxation, he's reducing regulation. What a fantastic guy, beating the globalists, the evil globalists, the one world fascist government. They're doing an absolutely great job. So I'll hopefully go down there. There'll be a lot of people going down to support him against the wee fascist can. Another member of the child rapist death cult that is Islam. Yeah, so we'll be going down there to support them. Look at this, look at the mound. So that was built, that's the mound there. That was built hundreds of years ago. And I would be surprised. That's Jenner's there. Look at me, just turn around here. That's Jenner's. And that's the shit that they're building now. I mean, it's just how the people could have actually regressed in their architecture, how they could have actually made things uglier, must start at the university level, and what materials, and if they're using anything to enhance the exterior, and how the exterior buildings relate to people's interaction with them. I mean, it's just, you would much prefer to go to an attractive looking building than an ugly building. That just goes without saying. But it's incredible that these buildings have been there for generations, and yet all the stuff that the modern architect has put up all looks like it should be pulled down within a number of years. It's got a shelf life. All these stuff, all this stuff over here. I like the guys from Texas. Look at that. Look how beautiful those buildings are over there. All stood for generations, and now what they do. Oh, don't know what's happening here. I don't know what's happening there. So all of these new architects and new architecture is going to get demolished within a period of years. I mean, it's got a 10-year shelf life. All of these housing schemes that were brought up in Glasgow, all of them are getting demolished. So everything that the state has built, and this is a big slam dunk for socialism, everything the state has built needs to get demolished and started again. So again, another reason why socialism doesn't work, and why the fact was that the free market, they were actually building more architecturally attractive buildings when the state wasn't dictating what you should and shouldn't be staying in. And that poverty would allow the state to dictate to you. And I don't think that should be happening. But there's ways of empowering the individual and not the state. I don't think the state should only be a mechanism to redistribute the wealth, not to actually tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing with it. So let me just swing you around here. Let me just show you how beautiful Edinburgh is. So let me just move out of the way of this woman. Oh, she wanted to move in front of me here. So this is up to the National Art Museum. That's the mound behind us. And that, again, is another carbuncle right beside another beautiful building there. So look at, this is the mound, which is the old Bank of Scotland, one of the oldest banks in the world. That's going up towards the Royal Mile, and that over there is the National Museum, or National Art Museum. So I thought I would just show you a wee bit about what Edinburgh looks like, old and new. And unfortunately, the new stuff is not a patch on the old stuff. And unfortunately, people are getting paid to put up less attractive buildings. So when it was better planned, the actual buildings are still there. Look at the beautiful gardens. That used to be actually like a moat, and they redeveloped it. So I think that's enough, but I just want to show you what the difference is. So our architecture is deteriorating, not improving. Everything that the postmodernists have done has been ugly and unattractive, including feminism. If you even look at women when they actually became feminists, I mean, it's quite sad how unattractive they become. The beautiful looking ladies have now become unattractive because of feminism. It uglifies everything. Just thought I would give you a wee update, guys. I mean, postmodernist sucks. Cultural Marxism is a disaster. Yellow.